Spring has finally arrived in Korea. The first spring since the COVID pandemic when we are relatively free to take off our masks and start traveling again. Great news for the hard-hit tourism and hospitality industry. To celebrate, we are dedicating the month of April to those that are leading the industry back to its former glory. One of the biggest issues for the industry right now is whether the city of Busan will be successful in its quest to host the 2030 World Expo. Other Korean cities have hosted smaller specialized expos, such as the coastal city of Yeosu and Daejeon, Korea's IT center of science and technology. But now, Busan has set its sights on hosting the World Expo, a global gathering of nations seeking solutions to global challenges through immersive activities. An event that has been known to welcome millions of visitors from around the world. Our globalist today is Ambassador Park Eun-ha, Executive Chair of the Citizens Committee on Busan's bid to host the 2030 World Expo. So, Ambassador Park, welcome to the Globalist.
Thank you for having me here.
This is a very busy week for you, I hear.
Really busy, the peak, I say, because we are so busy in preparation for the visit of inquiry mission from BIE. BIE is Bureau of International Exhibitions, which is in charge of expo-related things.
So they're the ones that will decide whether Busan hosts the 2030 World Expo or not?
Well, they are important, but they are not deciding.
Oh.
The inquiry team is coming to candidate cities to check the visibility, feasibility, and willingness of the government and the parliament, and the eagerness of host city to host the expo. So the inquiry mission is already in Korea, spending 2 days in Seoul to see how much determined the government is and how much supportive the parliament is. So after spending 2 days with the central government and the parliament, they are now in Busan. The majority of program is taking place in Busan.
So Seoul will be where they sort of understand the central government's desire and their will to host the World Expo, but reality, they actually need to be in Busan.
Of course, they spend 4 days in Busan. The program includes visit to the proposed expo site, which is North Port of Busan, the original port. And they will get presentations from city government officials and experts on the plan, how we are prepared for the expo. So it includes infrastructure, transportation, accommodation, and PR, metaverse, and relevant facilities with respect to the proposed theme and the sub-themes. So they will check the capacity and the capabilities of Busan city as a host city. The evaluation will serve as a very important reference for member states to consider which city they will support.
And that decision is in November?
November in Paris.
In Paris. So how well is Busan prepared?
Busan is very well prepared, I must say, because Busan is so much enthusiastic. And the preparation has been done as a team, central government, local government, the private sector, companies, and citizens. So we want to show the charms of Busan to the inquiry team.
But let us know, what are the charms that you are going to show the team?
Well, we expected the inquiry team to experience a very pleasant ocean breeze, and they will enjoy cherry blossom in full bloom.
This is a perfect season for that?
It's a perfect season, but the most important thing is we would like to draw their attention to the powerful story of Busan. So what I mean is the story of development, transformation of Busan from the past to present. And from present, how we are prepared for the future to inspire the world. So that is what we want to draw their attention to. And especially, we want the inquiry mission to appreciate the enthusiasm of citizens. And their warm heart to welcome them.
You are the head of the Citizens Committee. So why do the people of Busan want to host the World Expo?
Well, it's a good question. Why are people of Busan, they are so eager to host the expo? I want to tell you that the initiative, the idea to bid for expo, it came from the citizens, Busan citizens, not from the governments like other candidate cities. Citizens, they launched a signature campaign 9 years ago.
They wanting to hold.
Yes, and with the aim of getting signature from 1 million citizens, but overnight, 1.39 million people signed on petition. So the citizens are very much eager to have expo. Why? Because they want to make Busan as a truly global, inspiring, leading city. And they are so proud of their achievement. As you know, Busan has quite a strong story to tell the world. It was wartime time capital. And it accommodated 1 million refugees from the other part of Korea, and it became the engine of economic growth, economic miracle of Korea, and it was a birthplace of many Korean companies like Samsung and LG. And the citizens, they know that international cooperation, international assistance helped us. So it's time for us to share our experience and our resources to help others. So they believe if we host Expo, we will inspire the world, and at the same time, we will be helped by the world to accelerate the transformation of Busan to be a leading global city.
You know, these global events for Korea, you know, where Seoul hosted the Olympics, Pyeongchang hosted the Winter Olympics, it has provided an impetus for these cities to really grow and take the next step. But at the same time, there's also a lot of concern about, you know, whether it's financially viable to host these kind of global events. Is the World Expo a different aspect?
Definitely, it's different from the other mega international events like the Olympics or World Cup. And Olympics and World Cups, the sporting events, are more or less one-time event. And there had been a lot of concerns about the financial deficit of the host city. But Expo is different from these international sport events because Expo, about 200 countries, they will build their national pavilions on their own. Not, they will be built by the host city. And the construction period is 6 months, and exhibition period is another 6 months. So Expo is for 1 year. So you can imagine for 1 year how many people will come to the site. The estimate is 50 million visitors. And the estimate the economic direct and indirect benefit from the Expo is about $46 billion. In addition to that, 500,000 new employment could be created. So it's huge economic. It has huge economic benefit.
I guess the other aspect that people sort of think about when they think about an expo is it's a trade expo. You know, people come to sell goods and and to show off their country. But I'm told that it goes beyond that.
It's much beyond just the industrial exhibition. And Expo has 170-year-old long history. At the initial stage, Expo was a showcase of new inventions, new technologies, and new things to be traded or to be sold. But now, Expo becomes a platform for solutions to the common challenges humanity faces. And also, Expo is supposed to present a blueprint for the future. So it's a much more vision-oriented, future-oriented event. So it's not just an economic or industrial one. It's more innovative, more cultural thing, and more civilization-related event.
It's also sort of the mecca of Korean cultural activities with the Busan Film Festival, and all the kind of the cultural, the Korea wave centered around Busan.
That's true. Korea has taken credit from the world for its economic success. And now Korea will let all the world enjoy Korean culture, K-pop, K-dance, lifestyle. And so cultural thing is getting more important. And Busan also want to be a mecca, not only for economy, but also for culture. But culture doesn't limit to just the Korean style, Korean K-pop, K-dance, K-food. And culture, if you want to be a leading country in terms of culture, you have to provide a vision for the world. And you have to make a contribution to the world for the better future. So it's what the Busan through Expo want to achieve. By supporting the 2030 World Expo in Busan, please join our efforts for transforming our world, navigating toward a better future.
So, you're a Busan girl. I mean, you went to high school in Busan?
Yes, I'm very proud of being a Busan girl. I spent all my childhood in Busan. Even though I left Busan for after high school for college and the career afterwards, Busan has stayed at the core of my heart. Since I'm from Busan, when I heard that Busan became a candidate city for Expo, my heart started to beat very rapidly and loudly because I thought, oh yes, it's time for Busan to become a truly inspiring global city with a global standard. I really hope Busan grab this golden opportunity to transform, to upgrade the city to another level.
Well, tell us a little bit about that Busan spirit. I mean, Koreans sort of know, what we expect when you say, oh, you're from Busan. But what is that central spirit of someone who is from Busan?
Well, central spirit of Busan, we are quite open.
Yes.
And straightforward.
It's strong and straightforward.
Straightforward, and we are frank, and we are friendly. So we can make friends with everyone, regardless from what reason, with what background, with what kind of level of education or religion, we can make friends. That is Busan people.
It's also a port city, so in a way, it is innately cosmopolitan, a part of the world, because all the ships coming in and out.
Yes, Busan was the first official port designated in 19th century. So Busan has been a gateway from Korean Peninsula to the world and from the world to Korea. So that's why, Busan people, they have kind of a nature or culture to be open to others.
So do the people of Busan feel like you? Like, do they, when you talk to friends, and you obviously have many still living in Busan, how do they feel about this expo bid? Will they be out on the streets? How do they feel?
Every single citizen is so eager to host Expo because they realize that Expo is a golden opportunity for them, for their future generation.
부산 엑스포 유치를 확실하게 해주세요.
전 세계인들 부산에 많이 오세요. 부산 너무너무 좋습니다.
부산 세계 박람회 유치를 위하여! 위하여! 위하여!
And they want to make Busan stand proudly and highly at the stage of the world. So that's a really good opportunity for Busan, isn't it?
It is. We still have yet to see, but I think that transformation, that process is also very unique and very valuable for a city like Busan. Let's switch gears just a bit and let our audience get to know you, the Busan girl. Now, you're not just the Busan girl. You are the first female ambassador, Korean female ambassador to the UK. You were the first female, number one in passing the diplomatic exam. Now, talking about your career as a diplomat, you were in Korea, but you've also watched Korea evolve during your career. How do you see the image of Korea as you talk to other people in other countries as a diplomat? Do you see the image of Korea changing?
A lot, dramatically. When I started my career as diplomat in 80s, when I went abroad, the question I heard is, oh, what's happening in North Korea? Are you from North Korea? Or, I heard the Korea, well, it's located somewhere in Asia. But when I became ambassador to the UK and London,
What year was that?
That was 2018.
18.
Still, I was invited to interviews and the lectures, and the topic they proposed was North Korea nuclear issues and peace on the peninsula. But I mean, in 2-3 years, the topic they are interested about Korea had changed from North Korean nuclear issues to cultural things. You could have BTS. They translated BTS as Beatles in 21st century. And the Korean culture as a big wave all over the world. So Korea now it's perceived as a strong cultural power. So that is a big transformation. It's just economically successful one or culturally influential one. It's quite two different categories, isn't it? So Korea's image as quite a strong, culturally influential country. That is the image now we get.
So if you look at that trajectory of how Korea's image abroad has sort of developed, what do you think the World Expo, now if it is held in Busan, how will that affect how Korea is perceived and maybe the path it takes in the future?
That is very important question. We have to ask to ourselves what kind of a trajectory we have in mind after Expo. As I said, Expo is not just an exhibition of industrial things or technologies. Expo is a platform to share solutions with other countries to solve common challenges and at the same time specific problems as each country has. So solution platform is the core thing of Expo. If Korea can present a vision for the future of humanity at Expo, if Korea shares as blueprint with the world, Korea definitely can open up a pathway for co-prosperity of humankind. So we are confident that we can do it. So then, Korea will be reborn as a country which can lead a new civilization. So that is the aspiration, and that is the new trajectory of Korea in my mind.
That is very symbolic and significant for Korea. One of the things that you, as a diplomat and as a Busan person representative, you have to talk about what uniquely Korea can offer. If Korea hosts or Busan hosts the 2030, how that would be different from any other expo that any other country can host. How would you paint that logic?
The uniqueness of the Busan Expo will be caring and sharing. Caring and sharing? Without caring and sharing, we don't have hope for new civilization. And the world is becoming more polarized, and the disparities among nations and within the society between social classes. So caring and sharing is the uniqueness of Busan Expo. Why we are capable of doing that? Because we have a history of receiving international cooperation, international assistance. That became the basis of our success. So if not only we, if the world doesn't work together to solve the problems, if we don't care each other, if we are not sharing what we have with others, then new civilization, it will not come to us.
It does sound very uniquely Korean and Busan for some reason. I don't know. And as you move on to Paris in November, you have a busy year ahead of you.
Very challenging, but rewarding.
Well, I'm sure that we will hear a lot about Busan many more times before November. So until then, good luck. And for me, I will be back next week with another globalist who is helping putting Korea on the map. Sunjie out.